The head of the NHS in England has welcomed the promise by George Osborne to give billions more in spending. The Chancellor has announced that more than £1 billion of fines paid by big banks for their misbehaviour will be channelled to bolster GP services. That's in addition to a £2 billion cash injection for the NHS. The plans will be formally introduced in the autumn statement on Wednesday. The chair of an influential House of Commons committee has told Sky News that he believed the World Cup bidding process is deeply corrupt. John Whittingdale was speaking after more allegations regarding the 2018 and 2022 tournaments were passed to his committee. The dossier was put together by the unsuccessful England bid team. Russia has categorically denied allegations of wrongdoing in the way it won the 2018 World Cup. The white police officer who shot dead a black teenager in Ferguson, Missouri, has resigned. A grand jury decided on Tuesday that Darren Wilson wouldn't face trial over the shooting of Michael Brown, which sparked riots and protests across the US. According to a local newspaper, Wilson quit after being told his continued presence would put the residents and police officers of Ferguson at risk. Former Conservative Cabinet Minister Lord Fowler has told Sky News that neither he nor other ministers he worked with had any information at the time about allegations of child abuse. The government recently launched 2 inquiries into historical child sexual abuse allegations connected to Westminster and public bodies in the 1970s and 80s.
There was nothing coming up on that. That's what I find so extraordinary. I mean, if there was that abuse taking place, and it's pretty clear that there was that abuse, why was it that no one was actually raising their hand? It's not that they were going to get clobbered for doing that. They wouldn't have been. I just find it extraordinary that that didn't come out earlier.
Scotland's First Minister has called for the country to set its own corporation tax and minimum wage. It follows the publication of the Smith Commission report, which looked at strengthening Scottish devolution.
I do think there are some significant powers that are not in the Smith Commission report that we should have in Scotland. Corporation tax, indeed a range of taxes are one of them, but also power over the minimum wage, greater powers over the social security system.
A man has died and a woman has been seriously injured after being hit by a runaway car in Swansea. Emergency services were called to Burnmill Crescent at around 9:20 this morning. A police spokesman said the pair became trapped under the car after it rolled down the street. A small plane has crash-landed on a street in the US state of Connecticut after losing power. Despite the Cessna sustaining serious damage, the pilot apparently escaped without injury. It was being flown between the towns of Plainville and Hartford when it came down.